of them did some good shit.
Yeah, we're gonna get into it. Welcome everybody to Save or Slay, Week 8. One more and then a finale. Almost there, almost there.
I forgot how Eminence's opening was.
What do you mean?
I was just like, I like to scroll through episodes to remember what happened sometimes, and I just go, wow, that opening is really good.
It's a fine opening. All of our shows have good openings this season.
True.
We'll try to blitz through some stuff to not keep it too long. Harsh language and spoilers are about to be abound. And inbound. Things I've done outside of the podcast. Well, I did D&D, and that was a time. That session was insane. I'll talk more about that with the boys later if they want to hear about it. I think Michael and I watched an episode of Ghost Game.
Maybe.
That episode rocked, if it's the one that I think it is. It was the cat episode. That episode rocked. And also, oh my god, how long are they not going to give us the plot?
That's fine.
This show
is never
wild.
Going to be
There's just never.
This
is the Digimon series that never ends.
Also, boy, or some Digi. I love Digimon designs that are just obvious furry bait.
You can't say that and not post it in the group chat for them, Michael.
Hi,
Okay,
Pokemon would like to have
I
a
don't remember
discussion.
this one's fucking name.
It's in Digimon. It's in Digimon World 3. You can find it. Its move is Helter Skelter. If you need to find it that way.
It was Bastamon.
Yep,
or
that's
in
it.
English, Beastmon.
Yeah. Bast makes more sense because it's based off the Egyptian god of cats, but that's
Bast makes sense because it's fish.
Can I get like a picture that isn't tiny?
no.
Please?
Nope.
I did something with Mason that I'll let him talk about. And then I've been playing. I played a little bit of Overwhelm, which is besides 2D 2D shooter. That's about like going through a very simple layout, defeating 5 bosses. When you defeat them, you get a crystal. You return the crystal. It makes the enemies on the map harder. I've fought every boss and I've beaten every boss. I just have not done so in one consecutive run. That game also scares me. Not a fan. Yes. Wait, does that photo? I need to check if that photo.
This doesn't even give like a good idea of how fucking massive this Digimon size.
Yeah, you have no idea, chat. You have no idea how massive
Wait,
this
those are actual thighs. Those aren't just like pants.
Well, if they are, you can't tell. Also, no, I'm pretty sure. That there is a shot in that episode we go, Jesus Christ, show, because it's just the entire camera is her thighs.
The show's like, we need more furries in the world. I know what we can do.
But besides that, I'm gonna get back to Overwhelm at some point. It's just a game where some of like the base enemies are like critters, like jumping scorpions, and one of the bosses is a spider. And occasionally my brain goes, "No, I'm done for the day. We're done. We're not doing anymore." And instead, I've been playing a game called... I need to make sure I get it right again. Chained Echoes. This is a new RPG that came out on the 8th. It's made by one guy, or developed by one guy. I don't know. I was trying to find if he was the only one who worked on this. I have to believe he can't be, because holy fuck, is this game pretty. It'd be insane if he was the only person working on this. But he's the only. It's not like a company development. It's like his name as the development team. It's the only game he's made. So I don't know. I'll find out when the credits roll. I guess in 20 more hours of gameplay. I imagine, given how I am approaching the game, which is doing everything. 2D RPG. 2D JRPG. Really. Absolutely beautiful backgrounds. I adore its combat system. Basically, it's a 4-party combat system, but it's technically an 8-party combat system because you can assign every party member an additional member to support them, and then you can in combat hit R. I'm playing on controller. Hit R1 to switch them out with the party member who's tied to them, and doing so will immediately allow that party member to act. You don't have to wait for their turn to roll back around. They immediately take their action on that turn, which is really nice. The game has combat mechanics, around that, so the staggered condition makes you have to switch out. It feels like, and I should be paying more attention to know this for sure, but it's felt like buffs stay on the character. So if you have a 4-turn attack buff, and you switch out with 2 turns left, when you come back, you'll have maybe 1 turn left because technically the turn's gone around. But like it doesn't tick away from what it seems like if you have them in reserve, which is interesting. It has an overdrive meter where where it's basically a meter that has like a neutral zone at the start. It has like a green zone that's like good, you want to be in here. It cuts the cost of your skills in half, and it feels like you take less, deal more in terms of damage, but I'm not sure on that. Because numbers are weird in RPGs. And then it has an overheat area. And basically once you get into overdrive, you have skills of different types that are, regular attack, like power attacks, magic, support, buffs, debuffs. And once you're in the green overdrive zone, it'll pop up the icon for the type of skill, and almost always using that type of skill will cause the meter to go down. And using other types will just cause it to keep going up. So the idea is you want to be balancing the skills that are most effective in your combat and syncing it with whatever skill it wants you to be using for the meter to stay in the green as much as possible. Defending lowers it, switching out lowers it slightly, using ultimate moves for each character lowers it. It gives you your ultimate meter full at the start of every boss battle, which is the game telling you it wants you to use it. You see enemy HP except for in boss battles, and then as you progress through the game, you get shards, and the shards give you a level up, and every level up you get to basically go into your skill tree and learn a skill. And then you get to assign it. You have regular skills, you have passive skills, and then you have like stat boost skills where it's like, hey, just bump my HP up, please. Give me more tech points. This game's really cool, really pretty, sounds really good. Like the OST is really good. The areas are incredible. I love the area I'm in right now. I have 7 party members so far. There are like 11 to 12 weapon types. Two of which I know the characters who would use them, but I have not seen them since the first 20 minutes of the game, and they might be dead. This game makes it very hard to figure out who's going to be a long-term party member, and that literally everyone except for one character that I currently have of my 7, I could see leaving and or betraying and or being forced out of the party due to plot reasons. The only one who is not like that is the red-hair Myrmidon, who is the one you would think would be the most easiest to leave the party, but she absolutely is along for the ride the whole way. She's one of my favorite characters in this game. I realized last night after, I'm 16, 17 hours into this game, maybe cut a little because I've left it on a tiny bit, and I just realized that in the skill trees for each character, it's basically, here's your first batch of skills, get 10 of them, which you start with 1 by default, get 10 of them, and then you'll unlock your second set, and then get 10 of those, and you'll unlock your third set that you can pick from. One of the characters in my party does not show me what the skills are going to be in their third set. They're just all question marks. They're the only one that does this. What did you mean by this, game? Are they going to leave? Are they going to die? Why not just make up skills? I don't know. I have no idea. And it's something I like about this game is that I literally, every character has potential reason to either backstab this party or make me think they're going to backstab this party, besides the mercenary, who's the Myrmidon. And it's really funny, because the game tries really hard to be like, no, she might. There's a point in time where everyone gets separated and into groups, and she's alone, and some of the NPCs are like, man, I wish we remembered what any of that group looked like so we can put their faces on wanted posters. But I do remember that one red-haired mercenary to the exact T of what she looks like, including what her height and weight probably are. And she goes, damn, maybe I need to betray this group and, get a reward for it. And she does this, 3 or 4 times. She'll drop a line like this, and it's immediately followed up with her doing something really good and, altruistic and something that's, completely out of character for what they're trying to make you think she is. Like, your first action as her is to go around stealing shit in this town, and you go into a house and just steal money, and there's this little girl sick in the bed, and she's just like, no, you're not gonna get me. I'm taking your money. Walks out, the camera doesn't move, she walks back in, puts the money back, and leaves. And you're like, you're too nice. You can't leave the party. Plus, the airship that's going to come into this JRPG is tied under you. I know, you've said it. It's in my menu. I know it's coming. You have to stay. You're the only one who has to stay. This game's really cool. Very JRPG. Every character feels a lot like another JRPG character somewhere along the lines. But it doesn't make the story or the characters any less interesting. My favorite character, my favorite not favorite character so far has been Rob, with 2 B's. He is unhinged. I was explaining to Mason earlier that he is the only character who is directly, like, physically with his own hands, not through, like, different means, killed characters on screen. Your first introduction to him, like, after some combat with him in your party, is you fight some bandits, one of them dies from the fight, he just flat out kills the other, and then stabs the third one, and it's like, hey, you better tell me what I want to know or you're gonna die. And the bandit goes, damn, that's a shame, and runs himself farther into his knife. And there are numerous occasions in this game where someone threatens characters in the, a particular character in the party, and Rob just goes, I'm gonna fucking skin you alive, dude. And you're like, okay, brother, calm down. You might be unhinged. I really like this game. It's really cool. One of the weapon types I haven't gotten to, but I am eagerly excited for, is just card. It's just card. Super excited. There's a lizard man who has mechanical limbs and can control things with his telepathy. So thus, like, he just summons weapons out of spiritual magical energy. And he's busted, and I love him. He's also totally gonna stab me in the back like every other character in this game.
What?
I'm excited.
What?
Not because he
No.
wants to, but because he's going to be
No.
because he's currently employed by a character who is probably going to stab me in the back.
No,
Uh,
no. This is
The
JRPG.
lizard folk?
Everyone that seems good is good.
Lizard folk
May,
backstabbing you?
I think Mason was here to audibly hear me go about a character. You shouldn't know that. The fact that you know that makes me not trust you. And then literally 2 minutes later, I went, no, actually, I trust you again now. Now I think you're gonna be a good guy. To then an hour after that had happened, by the time Mason had gone, something happened in the store, and I went, now I don't trust you again. What the fuck's wrong with you? It also has a bunch of choices that you make dialogue-wise, and apparently they matter. I haven't noticed, which might mean this is a very good game, if it just feels like the choices naturally flow me into a progress line. I will probably buy this game after I'm done beating it on Game Pass, and then probably play it again elsewhere, and see how much some of those choices matter. I'm very excited to play more of this. That's all I've done. This game has occupied my past 2 days. Hey, Mason, talk about the other thing that slightly occupied one of my days.
So, for one, I'm going to talk about that in a second.
Okay.
But the big thing for me was last night I beat Tales of Arise,
Yes.
which I got literally the day it released and then didn't play it for like a year because I was just like not in the mood to play it, and then I just got a hankering to play it again, and I beat it. And I did what I thought was literally everything in that game before I beat the final boss. I did everything I possibly could. I did.
As you do with Tales games.
Yeah, like I caught all the fish. I made all the accessories. I created all the weapons that I could at that point, because there are some that are locked out by post game content. I went and did all the side quests that were available. I fought all of the super bosses that were available, which is funny considering some of the super bosses that are available before the game ends. And they're not even like super bosses, I'll say. They're just like, here's a side quest, go beat this monster. You had literally like 16 of these by this point in the game. Some of them are actively like 3 times as hard as the final boss was. Which made me a little sad, but also like
It's very clear some of them are designed as post-game enemies.
Yes. But also like the main character of that game has a move called Raining Slash, and Raining Slash is a broken piece of garbage.
That's the one that costs 2 and just you stand in place and go, eh.
Yeah,
that
so you
one's
go,
a thing.
eh. Because literally what it does is every other move in this game goes from like 2 to 8 hits, and they'll each deal like anywhere from like 150, 200 for the like multi-hit, like big multi-hit ones, to like 600 for the like 2-hit ones. Raining Slash always deals over like 1700 damage at least, and at some points in like for certain areas in the late game, and for like certain bosses where they like I got crits on them, it legitimately dealt over 11,000 damage in one hit, like in one use.
You certainly just sit there and spam that at everything if it's not in the middle of an attack.
Yes.
Its weakness is that it puts you into like a actual 1.5 lag animation.
Yes. But it doesn't matter because most of the time this move is so strong it will stagger most enemies, so it doesn't matter. And I did straight up just use it on the final boss as the only move I used. I didn't even actually attack it. I just used that move. But I will say the final boss, like the actual final boss of that game, is sick as hell. It's a very cool sequence and I loved it. But the fun part is the post game where they go, "Hey man, we got like 2 more quests for you. You want to have like fun tales of reminiscence and also reminiscence of this game? Have fun." And it sucks. It's great, but it sucks. They throw a boss rush at you, and it's bullshit. That's all I want to say, because I don't want to spoil it. But
I could imagine a boss rush of all the bosses in this game sounds terrible if they're like leveled up.
they're 95.
Yeah.
I went into it going,
I could not imagine the Area 2 big boss without being like over leveled, because his mechanic of, if you don't kill me, I just wipe you, Lamau.
Yeah. Yeah, no, so I went into it going, "Oh, I'm like level 65 at this point. Like, there's no way it's going to be that high a level." And then I get into the first boss and it says level 95. I'm like, I'm in danger. But yeah, that's what has taken up a lot of my time recently, and eventually I'm going to go finish the other part, like the post game stuff, and do New Game Plus. Definitely like my second favorite Tales game behind Tales of Symphonia, because that is quite literally my favorite game in existence. The other thing, sorry to take so long, Sean.
No, it's fine.
I wanted to talk about that. The other thing was I was not in the mood to play Tales of Arise, so I messaged Sean and I was like, "Hey, I'm gonna start 999." And he's like, "I'm in. Let's go."
Yo.
So I have taken about like 4 hours worth of Ushikoshi's pseudoscience bullshit.
I love it so much.
It's very fun. I'm really liking this game so far. I really like the characters, except Lotus, who is just kind of a bitch for no reason.
For what it's worth, Michael, based on him saying this, you can imagine the first path he's gone down, which means, Mason, I will say, I think you will also maybe not like one other character in this game. You just haven't spent a lot of time with them yet.
Okay.
Wait, does that mean he's gotten the greatest dialogue?
Yes, I made sure
Okay.
I told him that it was coming up, and he went, "Is it Funyaripa?" And I went, "Yeah, you want that one. Yeah, you want that one."
Funyaripa.
He's fallen in love with Junpei.
Junpei's wonderful. His voice actor does such a good fucking job.
Jumpy.
It's the only thing
Junpei's
he's done
great.
too, like on like a really high profile level. It's like the biggest thing he's done, and I love it.
Yeah. To tell you where I'm at, Michael. Snake.
And he's also chosen to bully his way into the path.
Into that path.
He decided he wanted to go the door that the game tells you not to do. Where it's like, doing this is a really big asshole move, and Junpei goes, and slams button.
Yeah.
And
No,
fuck you, don't care.
Yeah, so he
I love how he goes about it too, where he's just like, "Hey,
he's
hey, June,
so
can can you just touch this real quick? Yeah, sure. Hey, Seven, you wanna go on that too? Yeah. Okay. Hey guys.
Time to decide.
Fuckers.
It's really fun to watch Mason play this game and to hear the characters' voices slowly start to roll and for him to go, Jesus Christ, so many people are in this game, because you get greeted with Richard Epcar, Sean Chiplock,
Taliesin Jaffe.
Yep.
Fucking Wendy Lee.
Wendy Lee. And I think those are like the big
those are the
profile.
big ones.
And then the character known as the Ninth Man is like one of the most stacked voice talents in the world.
Yeah.
Which is really
Cam
funny.
Clark.
Yeah, it's Cam Clark.
Hanging out.
Liquid Snake just be like, hi.
Hi, Regal. Bye, Regal.
Yeah,
But-
I'm excited for more of that in due time.
Or not Regal, Kratos. I'm sorry, Kratos.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm very excited. I've been really enjoying this game so far. I feel like I'm like a quarter or like a third of the way through it at this point, at least for my first ending.
I think there are 5 major endings.
I have the flowchart for me. Mason hasn't looked at it yet. I have the flowchart that also tells you what endings you get by doing what things, so I can make sure Mason doesn't accidentally get a repeat ending. Though I think it's very tricky to do.
Yeah, 999's the only where it's like easy to get repeat endings because its flowchart's a lot more simple looking.
Yeah, it's hard to say based off dialogue. I would say you're at least halfway, if not 2/3, to your first ending.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
I didn't realize I was that far.
I mean, I would say halfway because I feel like if you do like another run through, you're gonna get to it. Because you've structurally, a lot of these games are one choice that leads you into puzzle rooms, and you've done you're into your second puzzle room. So like
I finished the second puzzle room.
Well, I mean like the second set of puzzle because you did.
Oh, okay.
Because you did like that one door set of puzzle rooms. Now you're at a new door puzzle room.
Yeah, we're at the new section of doors.
And it's almost this 999 and VLR have like a very similar structure where it's like, hi, there are 3 sets of doors. Usually, you have like 3 choices of doors, and that is where your whole game surrounds. And then continue, keep playing it. Play my game for 2,000 years. Ushikoshi yells into the sun.
Fair.
John, are you a fan of the Titanic?
Me?
Yeah.
I've never actually seen the full Titanic, I'm not gonna lie.
Did you know it has a sister ship known as the Gigantic? Let me tell you all about it in this 25-minute dialogue conversation we're going to have in the middle of a.
My favorite thing about it that's just not even an actual thing, but it had 2 sister ships that were actual things. The Gigantic was not one of their names.
But it would have been funny.
The Britannic and the Olympic were ships that existed.
Yeah. God, like
my favorite one was that the first couple you get in this game are like they seem innocent. You're like, okay, sure, this is like quirky dialogue from a quirky girl, and then you go into the next, and then if you do this particular set of rooms, you go into the next door over, and Lotus is like, you want to hear about morphogenetic fields? And Mason's eyes rolled into his head. He's like, oh, this is the pseudoscience bullshit you've been talking about. I'm like, yes.
What in the morphogenetic field is happening right now?
God, the first thing I was like, okay, yeah, no, like I can. She's just really into horoscopes. Fine, whatever. And then we got to that bit, and it's like,
oh, everyone's insane.
You're not ready for the part where you get my status as a direct quote from someone.
oh God.
We'll call her Alice.
I think
it's vaguely.
I
that.
think he's.
I don't know if that's the exact quote. This
Yeah,
this exact quote's used in a different Ichikoshi game.
Yeah, he's not quite there.
I'm going to play that game once I finish the 999 game.
I think that's smart because it doing this set of games will make you ready for AI. Like once you do this, you're like, there is nothing that can stop. Nothing will surprise me from this man. Once you finish these 3, and then
watch the end of AI 2. You're wrong. You'll find ways.
I'm excited. It's the same feeling of playing fucking Now only his brain's in my a Kodaka game. Where you're like, we've
Yeah.
hit peak Kodaka, right? You can't get. Oh no.
Plays UDG, plays V3.
Interacts with
Yeah.
Danganronpa S board game unlimited. Anything else, Mason?
Not really.
You and John watched Blue Lock's next 2 episodes.
Yeah.
Yep. Next one, I thought.
No, it's 2 because
Okay, maybe John only watched 1 of Blue Lock's next
No,
episodes.
he definitely watched the. He watched the second. The
I also watched both episodes. Of
Oh,
Blue
I'm
Lock.
the only one. Oh,
Yes.
I will.
They
I
pulled-
promise.
They pulled some sick bullshit on us.
They,
That
they
I
certainly
love.
they certainly managed
Wasn't
to
Blue Lock
fix
brought
like
up last week?
one of
Yeah.
my biggest issues with
Was there
it
one episode?
in 5
No,
seconds.
it was 10
No,
and
no,
11.
you're right. It was two.
Yeah.
For what it's worth, guys, I stand by our opinion, or I stand by our decision to vote Blue Lock off because I don't think it's
No,
going to
I agree.
matter.
No, I don't think. It would
I
matter.
think
I
I
don't think it would matter.
I think if it was still here, it's episode 10 may have done something. Maybe.
Yeah.
yeah, but what
And then it might be number 4 if
It
it
might
had
end
stayed
up
on.
being 4.
Yeah.
just
I
because
think
time
so.
was
That's-
limited.
that's what- my point is, I think Blue Lock probably deserves to be 4, but I want to let Eminence and Swords see if they can do something special. And boy, did one of them do something this week.
Yeah.
John, what have you been up to though?
I watched Blue Lock. Blue Lock, good. I did a lot of stuff, actually. I played a metric fuck ton of Pokemon still. I have so many shinies now that I have to talk about because there's a lot of cool shinies in this game. There's a lot of not cool shinies in this game. So it's fun to balance out which ones you want to get and which ones are fucking impossible to find because they're tiny little specks on your fucking screen and there's minute differences. Cough, cough, mousehold. So I shiny bred a mousehold. God, breeding is better in this game, but man, is it also super tedious.
I love doing a picnic and
I love
looking
doing
at
a
a
picnic
basket.
and waiting while doing something else. Getting like 100 eggs, making another thing, hatching all those eggs, and then resetting your game because you don't want to waste the special herbs to make the sandwich. And then rinsing and repeating that process. But I got my shiny mousehold. I got that fucking shiny mousehold. And then as I'm done with that, I'm like, that took a while. That took like 2 days of work. Let me just eat. I still have like 25 minutes on the sandwich I made of dark sandwich because I just did that while I was walking around this area. Let's see if I can go find a shiny Sableye. Oh, 5 minutes later, there's a shiny Sableye. Well, I guess I'll go back and search for Murkrow because look, there's shiny Murkrow. So my shiny list I've compiled so far in this game is not in order: Azumarill, a Dashbun, King Gambit, Grimmsnarl, Rotom Wash, Among Us, Abomasnow, Murkrow, Mousehold, Toxicity, Sableye. I got a Hariyama normally through a playthrough. I have a Tinkaton, which again, best shiny in the game because it only changes the hammer being the color of shiny Corviknight. I have a Finizen, or the fucking hero form fish. I got a Slowpoke, which by the way, go on Cerebi right now and look at the shiny of Slowpoke and ask me how the fuck I knew that thing was shiny by looking at it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I got a shiny Mimikyu, Houndour on accident, Hippopotas, Sandygast on accident. Not 1, but 2 Mudbray. Not 1, but 2 Lechonks.
Perfect.
Not searching for, just coming across randomly. A Heracross, a Snorunt, and a Drowsy. Shinies are really free in this game. You just eat sandwich and walk around the area for a bit. It's really fun. But now I'm starting to actually like make teams and stuff and start to fuck around and try to make actual fun teams to play. And man, that's hard to do sometimes with some of the Pokemon they make in this game. But yeah, I mean, outside of that, hung out with my girlfriend a bit. Had a family Christmas from my mom's side where we played bowling, which is football bowling, where you take a football and you throw it at bowling pins. That's the game. It's pretty fun, cute. What else did I do this week? Watch sports. It's weird to watch meaningful football games in December, but here we are with the Detroit Lions. I don't know how I feel about it. But meaningful football in December. What else did I do? Finished watching Snafu again with my girlfriend. Got through season 3. Shit's good. If you haven't seen it, go fix that. It's a good show. Not the best show, but it's a good show. What else did I do? Bought a game called Potion Crafting, the alchemy simulator game. Haven't played it yet, but I bought it because it looked fun. Watched the World Cup. That was pretty hype.
Yeah.
Even though I don't really care too much about soccer. It was a good game. Good watch. Sports ball. What else to do? What else did I do? Think, John. Think. I did other stuff. But I can't think of it right now. I did a lot of working, so my brain is tired. But yeah, that's kind of it for me.
Michael, before I let you go, I forgot. I did one additional thing. I read through Fujimoto's one shot, just listen to the song, because I've been meaning to read through it.
First.
So this is Chainsaw Man author.
Yeah,
so
this is a really short one. Just listen to the song. It's like
yeah,
40 pages or something.
yeah, it's pretty straightforward. If I might talk more about it in length, and if I am, I'm probably gonna do it with Alex because I think the idea of a story's. I think making a manga one shot whose whole purpose is to be like, hey, don't like reach for what the meaning behind my thing is like, it's a complicated thing to do because I don't think you have a right as an author to do that. I think you have a right to say, don't assume and like assign what I'm saying to me, but like people are allowed to take whatever they want out of your work. Like you can't stop them. And it's interesting. It's hard to describe that one shot and what it does and what happens in
Very
it.
strange one shot.
It's very strange. Boy, he sure does draw a lot of characters that look exactly like Chainsaw Man characters, or
like this man
or
has, like, an art style.
or a lot of his characters that he draws for these one shots. His Chainsaw Man characters look like later.
Have you read Goodbye Eri yet?
No, but I know that character.
Yeah, gonna talk about that. So I started reading it a little bit because Super Eye Patch Wolf came out with an hour and 20-minute video on why Chainsaw Man is a goddamn masterpiece, and he talks about Goodbye Eri in it. And man, the first bit of that manga hurts until it's batshit insane.
Goodbye Eri is absolutely wild and an amazing experience.
Hello, mom explosion thing.
And then the other thing I read was that I have to read the new chapter for JJK and Chainsaw Man. I haven't gotten to yet. But the other thing I read was the first chapter of Tagami Bachi.
JJK was on break this week.
It apparently has a chapter out that I haven't read according to Viz. So I've apparently missed it. But I read the first chapter of Tagami Bachi, which is a sci-fi fantasy series, seemingly about a system of letter delivery people. My brain wants to say they're called fireflies, but I think that's wrong. I literally forget what they're called, and it's not in the synopsis right now, so I can't think of it. But like the idea is that they deliver letters to different locations in this sci-fi-esque setting. And you meet the main character, and he stumbles upon his new package delivery he has to make, which is a child. He's found a child who has been stamped as a package, and he must deliver him. The entire first chapter is that. The first volume is 2 chapters. So chapter 1 is, let me get the page count for this. I started reading it, then went, oh dear lord, 118 pages is chapter 1.
Jesus.
Okay, it's about double the length they normally are. Okay.
Yeah, so, and I imagine chapter 2 is going to be equally lengthy. I'm very excited. It has a very nice art style that I like. It immediately makes me think of D. Gray Man while reading it, in terms of kind of like its style. And D. Gray Man is immediately also a thing recommended to read under it. No connections between the authors, but this led me down a rabbit hole where I found out that D. Gray Man's not over? That manga's still going? What's wrong?
It went on hiatus for like
a
solid 6 years or something.
It's
like that.
insane. I was like, I thought it was done.
You're talking about going on hiatus for 6.
There is a solid that manga gets really wild from what I've heard.
And Viz is still missing 10 chapters of what's been out. Apparently, we just don't have it on Viz yet. Yeah. So I might start getting into that soon too. But I'm interested to keep reading Tagami Bachi. I liked the bit of it that I read. It's gonna be. I'm ready for that to hurt me. That sci-fi fantasy manga I start reading and go, oh no, pain's coming. Oh no.
That reminds me. I wanna start reading Fire Punch at some point.
Yeah, that's also on my to-do list.
Oh yeah.
That's something I plan on watching or on reading at some point, but like, it is. I've read the first chapter, and wow, is it something?
You don't know what to say.
Fuck?
Hey Michael, what have you been up to?
So I did a little bit more of Celeste. I got through like 2 or 3 more B-sides. God, those kick your fucking ass.
That's what I've heard.
World 6's B-side? Yeah, that one. World 6's is it's fucking difficult.
Is that the like middle of the mountain one?
It's the one, the mechanic for it is the feather.
Yeah, that one.
God, it's a good-ass level. But God, is it fucking hard.
Yeah.
That was my first level to break 300 deaths. It was also my first to break 400, 500, and 600. My other highest before, no, I think my highest before that was like 4B with 300. This one broke 600. It was insane.
We love that.
It was a good-ass level. Yeah. Level 4B pisses me off because I hate the World Force wind mechanic. But it has like probably my favorite B-side track, so it was possible to get through. Its B-side track is so fucking good. God, this entire game's soundtrack's amazing. Lena Raine's amazing. Yeah. Celeste, good game, would recommend. Also very hard, but like it's fine. It's worth it. Played way too much Destiny this week, because there was a new event that started.
Yeah.
Christmas event. We got to make cookies for the NPCs. So yeah, I've been doing a lot of that. I also played a little bit. So this weekend was a free weekend for the new Call of Duty Modern Warfare, or Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 2022, the new one, the new Call of Duty game. So I played a little bit of that. It's a Call of Duty game. That's about all I can tell you about that. It's Call of Duty, and the free game mode you're allowed to, because it's like, it's free to play, but you only are allowed into one playlist. So people who had been playing the game a lot went into it to farm people who hadn't touched the game.
That
Also,
sounds about right.
It was also a dog shit playlist design, because they gave you 3 maps. One of them was the remake of Shipment from COD 4. You know, the really tiny, goofy map. But it's fun. It's a funny little time every time you're on it. They gave you one of the better maps, and then what is considered by everyone who plays the game as the worst map in the game. Or it's within the bottom 2 maps in the game.
Which one?
El Asilo.
Oh, yeah.
That map is just garbage.
It's garbage. It's the worst.
Yeah, you got Shipment, Farm 18, and El Asilo. Farm 18's fine. It's a fun little map. El Asilo actually pisses me off.
It's just
But yeah.
really poorly designed.
Mm-hmm. And then for the last few days, I've been playing a little bit of Sea of Thieves again. And every time I go back to that game, it reminds me what a good battle pass can be in a video game. Because that game's battle pass gives you most of its rewards are on the free track. On the paid track, it's literally just if you buy the $10 plunder pass, you get a $30 ship set for the $10 if you finish the pass. So like, it's just worth it to do because they'll sell that same thing for later, or the same thing for a lot more later. But they're still worth it at that higher price generally. And also, I played the game for like 8 or 10 hours. I'm already tier 65 or so in the 100 tier battle pass. In most games, I'd be tier 10 right now. It's insane.
Fair.
Sea of Thieves is a very fun game, very silly. They also introduced a new thing with this current season that makes the game a lot more enjoyable for like PvE only players by giving you a like dedicated in-game PvP mode. So the people who want to just be little goobers and do ship combat can do like their own matchmaking thing to just do normal in-game ship combat. So they're not going around being menaces. And that's cool. it's really nice to just like when you're sailing past a ship, you don't always need to be on guard. You can like actually expect them to not shoot you on sight. It's great. Good times. One other thing I've been doing a little bit of is a friend recently finished their first ever Pokemon game. They were playing an emulated version of Fire Red.
Okay.
It was just fun. And from that, they were like, so like, if I was to play the other games, what do I do? Then they started looking up prices for to get a Game Boy Advance and play old ones, which I said absolutely terrible idea. Just emulate the Gen 3 games and the Gen 4 ones and the Gen 5 because you don't want to pay for those. The game's like $1 billion each.
Yeah.
And also, I remember I was like looking through the games I own, and I was looking at my old Pokemon games because I own Red, but I own all 3 Gen 2 games. What I realized when playing around with them, all 3 of my Gen 2 save batteries are dead.
Yeah.
Let's
Oh,
go!
My Gen 1 save battery's still alive though, so my copy of Red still works. But Gold,
Ow.
Silver, and Crystal have dead save batteries.
We love that.
And also, I've been playing through Mario vs. Donkey Kong, the first one for the Game Boy Advance. That's a really good platformer. It's a really good puzzle platform. It's a great time.
I remember the Minions one where you had to it's like a puzzle basically game.
Yeah, that was the one for the DS with the mini
I
ones.
that one. That one's hard.
You know, those games get kind of ridiculous.
Yeah.
Hey guys, it's
I have
time.
one more thing I did.
Oh,
We talk
okay.
about anime on this podcast, I swear.
Not yet.
Started a good game. Bye. That's it.
Wait, what did you say? I didn't even fucking understand you.
I started playing Stardew Valley again. It's really fun.
Oh, okay.
Good.
I've been seeing you're getting on Stardew Valley. I was like, oh, look at that.
Fucking great.
Guys,
I'm-
it's time. That's right. There's no bold this week. It's pretty straightforward. Michael, again, does some things this week. He might as well literally put the shows in a random number generator and spun it.
See, it's just some of these shows it's just hard to choose where to put them.
I tried my
And
best.
Also, like recency bias sometimes.
That's why I try to do week by week.
But like
instead of
Michael, at least you
overall
have
for
one
now.
correct interpretation.
True.
We'll talk
Brother.
right now. Reminder, spoilers. Do not talk about anything past episode 10. If you are in chat, we will kill you. Harsh language.
You assume someone's in chat.
Hey, sometimes Dylan hops in here. Also, Spoon's here.
Spoon is here. Oh my god.
Let's
Hello.
go.
Hi, Spoon.
The King Fizzle.
No, now he's the Monarch Fizzle.
Let's
Oh shit, you're right.
let's talk about Gundam. Witch from Mercury. This week, if you didn't know who you could trust, you really don't know who you can trust. Let's continue down the Gundam train. Suletta is busy taking care of Minori's plants. Because she's been away, as has Ariel. The Ariel's been away for a lot longer, like 2 months worth, I think they say. And Minori's been away for like two weeks, maybe a little over that. And they're both supposed to be coming back soon. Yay. But Suletta was given the important job of taking care of Minori's tomatoes. And she's been doing a great job. We love her. She then gets called off because she has to do other stuff with the company, including test run of biotic legs. It's really cool. It goes really well. She tells a funny joke. Suletta Forgetta. I love her. She is adorable. Please do not hurt her in any way. Show, stop what you're doing in the rest of this episode, please. Suletta gets caught checking off her to-do list of things to do, and I love it. She also has keychains to give to me. She has a keychain to give to Minori so they can have matching keychains because she loves her wife. That's gonna go over well. We'll get to that later. We find out, this actually might have kicked off the episode, and I might just have it out of order. Whoops. We find out from Big Jedrick that they plan to kill fucking I can't think of his actual Delling. Thank you. They plan to kill Delling.
This time for sure.
But this time for sure, they assure us, and I'm really excited to hear what his plan was because he informs Shattuck's father, who passes it on to Shattuck because he can, I guess, and Shattuck goes, "No, Dad, we should do this. This is the right moment to do this." Shattuck
and all his fucking harem, by the way.
Yeah.
Like, not even
Yeah.
like a
Some
private
of-
conversation, it's
so-
just like,
Yeah. And Shadow's just like, no, this is the right idea. I have people I can call. We'll do it. Trust me. This will cause things to go, like break up inside the group. And on top of that, it'll mean that, people can then, beat Suletta, take the honor of being top dog, and then basically own the company, own Gundam. And then people are talking, they're just like, hey, where's Gwell? No one's found him lately. I'm gonna be a little out of order this episode, but that's fine. I'll get to everything, don't worry. Meanwhile, Gwell's working a hard-paying job in space. Don't mind him, he's doing his own thing now. He definitely won't get roped back into this later. We then find out that Suletta and the gang need a place to go film to advertise for the robotic legs. They plan to do that on the roof and get told no, because racism. And then they decide to go film in the student council club, because Suletta, being the holder, has permission to be there, and I think that's a really funny idea. Also, everybody praises her. What a good girl. We love her.
Also, yeah, Guel's now Bob.
Yeah, Guel's now Bob. Please refer to him as such. We'll talk more about Bob in a bit. Shattuck makes a phone call. Actually, we should talk about Minore and how she has a reasonable conversation about her dad with business, and it makes him look not like a huge raging asshole, and kind of makes you wonder if he should be assassinated or not. She then meets back up with the people from a company, the ones who were going to smuggle her out of Earth, and now they're gonna use the ship to come back to the school. So she's gonna get there earlier. Good times. Minore also continues to be a little tsundere. We'll get to that. Shattuck makes a phone call, but before we know he does that, we get hard cut to a beautiful looking, desolate fucking ruins, with new characters we've never met before. That makes you go, sorry, who are we with now? And I do not remember these two names. I know they say them. They make a point to say them, and they also make a point to say the head guy's name. I'll learn them eventually.
They're like super Americanized.
Yes, because they're on Earth. They're on Earth. Yeah. And we learn through this interaction that these are probably freedom fighters of some kind, who are not afraid to get their hands dirty. And once Shattuck kind of talks up how easy of a job they can make it, they decide, sure, we'll help you kill Delling, which raises the question, what was Big Jedrick's plan? How was he going to do this? Because Shattuck's carried everything so far. We then see Shattuck leave the communications room, and we find out that, is it Nina? Nika, I always get her name wrong. We find out that not only is this how Nika's tied to him, she's also probably from what I assume is an orphanage, from back there.
Like
given
war orphanage.
Probably. Given Gundam? Probably. Suletta then, does some little bit of test runs, she's like working on the legs in the student council room. People are peeved that she's in the student council room. Too bad, gotta deal with it. They crack some jokes about Minore being a hard ass, and then the one guy goes, actually, no, I'm being dead serious. Like, how do we know she's not just gonna, like, treat us like dog shit in a while? And so I was like, because I trust my wife.
Because that's my wife.
That's my wife. And then we almost get a very important conversation with the person from PL Tech who used to be a part of the Witch Crew. However, Suletta has to go deal with Tomatoes. So we don't get to hear the rest of that conversation. On her way to Tomatoes, she runs into Elan. This Elan is very flirty. Maybe a little too flirty. He tries to kiss Suletta, and Suletta goes, I have a wife. And he goes, she doesn't really love you, and then tries to kiss her anyway, and Suletta goes, no, because she has a wife, and runs away.
Also, she has Tomatoes to go deal with.
Yeah. Also, this Elan, we are showed, is a new fake, not even the real one. Somehow equally shitty as the real one. And also he was putting in those brain spider doubts about Minore. And then Suletta shows up, and there's just dudes messing with her with the tomato farm, and she gets real angry. At which point Minore's like, "Hey, I'm back early. Sorry. These are the new farmer hands I hired, so that you don't have to do the job." And all of Minore's dialogue is written to come off as very passive aggressive to Suletta, when in reality she's just busy with Gundam work, that she isn't paying attention to how her words are impacting her groom. That's a problem. Not as big of a problem as it's getting blown out of proportion because people are in Suletta's head. Suletta sadly drops her keychains after she is basically told she is not needed. However, Minori plans to take her with her to go to the place where we know the assassination's gonna go down. That definitely won't go wrong. There's definitely no one else showing, oh, hey, what's Bob doing? Bob's bringing everybody food, to which he gets told, hey, kid, make sure you eat. We're gonna need you. And he has a little moment where he smiles and he's like, this is what it feels like to be needed and cherished. And then they get held up at gunpoint by Gundams, by mobile suits, because the plan has started, and this organization, which they say their name, but and again, I forget, has taken them hostage. I will learn all these new characters and their things. Hi, stuff happens this week in Gundam. It's a good episode. I like it. I wish it didn't hurt me so much with Suletta. She's a bean. I want her to be cherished.
Love the fact that they take the time to say, yeah, I know this is like the new Ellen and all, but he's somehow even more fucking unhinged than the real one.
Yeah.
Like, this man is fucking crazy. They take the time to say that.
Yeah.
Big horny.
Yeah. Whether intentional or not. There's also just
Pretty intentional.
there's a line that like kind of stabbed me this week from this new Elan, where Suletta's like, I don't remember what it. Someone says something to Suletta along the lines of like Elan hasn't been here, or I'm back and I'm a little different now because of you, I think is what he says to her. And knowing the context of everything that has happened, ooh boy, does that line hurt more than it is probably meant to. Where he's just like, yeah, I'm a little different now because of you. And it's supposed to be flirty, and your brain goes, because you sang happy birthday, you fucking demon. How dare you keep killing my favorite characters.
But it was a great birthday.
Yeah. I think we need the Suletta Minori tension, because I think I think because Suletta's a naive character, you need her to like grow and like figure out she can trust Minori for her own reasons, not just because she's engaged to her. And also, like, she needs to flat out just be like, no, Minori, I know I'm your groom by like technicality, but like I actually do like you. I think I'm bi. Because the show apparently needs to do that. What are your guys' thoughts on Suletta Forgetta this week?
I think she's definitely bi. Oh, sorry.
No, I'm glad we're all on a consensus here.
Yes.
Yeah, like, good for them. You know what? Have fun. Kids and their homosexuality and experimentalism. But I don't know. I think it's good this week. It's like, stuff is happening. It's like, it's what you like to see about a show. It's like in the later episodes, stuff happens. It's not just all build up. You know, it's like, yes, it's build up, but there's also build up with like interesting plot points being developed. And it's like, it's not build up to the point where it's like, we need to build up for 4 episodes for this one big climactic again. It's just like, yeah, we're just gonna get right to what's happening, and good luck, characters. We'll let it kind of play out as it plays out. I think Minori being like super businesswoman is interesting. But like, I think the Earth, like, I just want to know what's going on with Nika and like her family background, where they're like definitely not terrorists, but terrorists. That are being used to make Earthians look bad, basically. Probably.
I feel like they're terrorists. I feel like they're just mercenaries.
They're hired mercenaries, but like they take the bad guy role, which means that it looks worse on Earthians even more so, even though it's actually Spacians that are hiring them.
Yeah.
It's very interesting in that regard. It also makes you wonder if that just means that Shattuck's dad, his name I can't remember, if he just helped, like, if that is the orphanage, or if he just knew the contact because of Nika. Like, because Shattuck has a very large background that we kind of know loosely about, that his dad got him from an orphanage. So it's like, is this it? Are they double tagged because, like, double, are they working together because of that tie? Is it a completely separate batch of random kids being used for mercenary work that are potential war orphans? I don't know. They also don't seem to hate Gundams, given the way they're talking about how Suletta's portraying them. They seem to kind of be upset that she's portraying them in a nice and happy light, which makes me think they like them in the premise of weapons, but they don't.
Yeah.
Like, they don't seem like they're also like, man, we need to get rid of Gundams.
I'm just very excited for this next episode, because I feel like that's what's going to spark, Space War.
Space War.
Space War.
Space War. Space War. Space War.
I just really like this episode.
Yeah.
I like how it does. It starts with we have the little bits and pieces with the mercenaries and all that, which is leading into a lot of actual plot stuff. But they don't forget to also give us the internal drama that is coming from Miorine just having zero free time to interact with Suletta right now because she's running a fucking business.
He's running the space version of a Fortune 500 company now, out of nowhere.
Yeah, so she just doesn't have time, and this is putting a lot of strain on Suletta as a person, because socially Miorine was like a really important part to like how she functioned, and she's just not here.
Yeah.
And I think that's really well done drama between the two of them, because you absolutely understand Suletta's reactions to everything.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And you understand why Miorine doesn't like seem to notice that she's doing anything wrong because she's busy and she's just kind of saying things. It's just well written drama and it's just really good.
Yeah.
I just want to. I'm gonna repost the Gundam meme from a little bit ago, because this is just their dynamic. This is their relationship dynamic.
Yeah,
Minori is the breadwinner of the two of them. Please buy Suletta more Gundams. And like everything, like Michael said, everything Minori's saying makes sense, right? Like, her logic sound. You need another pilot for your Gundam company. Yeah. Maybe don't, but Suletta currently takes the, I hired another pilot as, you are no longer special to me, I found a new man.
Yeah, and she hired people to run the farm, because Suletta has more important things to do.
And then take care of her tomatoes.
Takes these tomatoes are the most important thing in her fucking life. Because they are.
They are. She cares a lot about these fucking tomatoes. Have you seen what they look like?
Because to her, they're a very important thing to Miorine, because they were. This is like the first thing she found her doing was tending to this farm.
I love her. I'm interested to see if this is gonna fuck up her piloting Ariel at all. If her not being all there focused and like having different feelings is gonna like fiddle with her Gundam control. Because they're going to get Ariel, we know. That's why they're going to the assassination place. I'm also really excited to see where fucking Guel goes in this story, because he is just fucking... Sorry, Bob. Where Bob goes in this story. He
just everywhere. Is there, and he's also somehow in this whole thing.
Bob be like, I'm running away to get away.
I have a sneaking suspicion that he is going to, the assassination stuff is going to start happening as it's going to become full blown as Miorine and Suletta get there.
Yeah.
Suletta is going to fight against it in the Gundam, be back down, and then Ghoul's fuck, okay, and hop into a mobile suit and help her.
It's interesting, right? It's because you that could happen, or he could decide to side with this group. I don't think he would if he knew they were being ran by Shattuck, but he doesn't know that. So it's very because he could say sure, fuck Delling and maybe his dad in the long run if he thinks that's where it's gonna go. Delling's also meeting with Suletta's mother.
Yeah.
Because not everything has to be moving around in the scenes where you don't know who you can trust at all ever. My goal is just don't trust anyone who isn't Suletta.
True.
I trust her and will protect her
and
with
even
my
sometimes
life.
You can't trust her because sometimes she Forgetta.
She Forgetta.
She dumb, but it's okay because she's our dumb.
Speaking of new characters, let's talk about a show that reintroduced every character known to man in its cast, or at least some of them. Hi, John.
Eminence in Shadow was a great show for half of this episode. That half, unfortunately, is the second half. I think it's more fortunate the second half, to be honest.
I have an argument here. I don't think, and I'm giving this to Eminence's credit, I think because of the way Eminence has built itself as a show, this doesn't come off as horrible.
No, it's not as terrible.
No, I sit there and I'm like, okay, you're doing this bit. You're doing this bit. I'm like, I get it. And to me, it's that little, oh yeah, but in my brain, it makes me go, oh, so this is what I get for wishing that the rest of the female cast was more involved. Okay, I get it. You can take them back. I'll stick with Sid. Give me Sid again.
We get some plot with Epsilon and Beta.
Yeah,
that's the TLDR
that's
for the first half
accurate.
of the episode.
Yeah.
I
I was like, I don't remember exactly what I
then-
hated about it. I just remember hating that section.
And of course, like
Booba.
Sid has to be alive, so like he's like all wrapped up in the infirmary, and Rose comes and finds him, and it's like, oh, he sacrificed himself for me. I feel his love now.
See,
and
I find the bit with Rose hilarious though, so this part
oh
worked.
no, it's
Yes.
great.
No,
And
very
was
good.
one
I just put the
absolutely
stuff with
obsessed with
Gamma
him.
and Beta or Epsilon
Again,
and Beta pissed me off.
Sid's great.
Yes.
Sid hiding on his
God,
ceiling
the
twice.
ceiling
To avoid
Twice.
sister.
He was fucking asleep to
Yeah, the
avoid
fact that-
Rose.
God, the
That
fact
man
that
was
he's
napping.
hiding from his fucking sister.
Hey, again, the show's like, oh, you want her as a character? No.
Fuck you.
This
So-
is
and so
Sid's
basically
show.
Now Rose is fawning over him, and so they're going on this trip with the school to do like these sacred trials, basically. And they're like, "Oh, are you gonna try the trials?" And he's like, "Nah, that's not for me. I'm just an average Joe. Trust me." He's definitely gonna do the trials as Shadow though.
The hand-holding bit here is incredibly funny.
So fucking funny.
I don't know if we needed the second time, but I love the shot where his hand's stuck and it just rapidly vibrates forever. Where it's just
And then
like,
it turns into goop and then slides away.
and then she's still talking like, "You're wonderful. You're
And she
amazing."
gets it back immediately.
And he's in the
afterwards.
fucking window.
And then like they go out in the town and they're like, "Oh, can we go see my favorite artist?" He's like, "Yeah, of course." With titles like One Purse and Dragon Ball and Kage
the
no
Eminence in
Jutsu
Shadow.
and the Eminence in Shadow.
What the fuck's this shit? I have no. I can't read that.
That got me.
It's
so
good.
hard.
It's good. It
Also,
also.
I read, I was like, "That's the title for this show, right?" I had to go check.
Yeah.
Like, God, fucking damn it,
Yeah.
it is.
And it's like
Yup.
the plagiarism is so bad, it's almost refreshing.
Yeah, it spoofs on like classical stories and fairy
It's-
tales and
it's all- it's
Shakespeare, and
all-
then it's anime, and then it's
And it's all
itself.
stuff that basically like he's told Beta, who just started writing them into novels with him as the main character. And we get this in a flashback too. Where it's like it's Sid's story about how he beats like one of the projective hand down below, and she's writing it like as like a rescuing her as the princess.
It's erotic
It's like,
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
it's
it's just
very
like-
much erotic fiction.
it's
I
very
love the
erotic
bit
fiction.
where she's doing the lines for the guy.
No, better yet, it's self-insert erotic
Yes.
fiction.
But I love the
Oh,
fact
it's
that
romantic.
she's doing the bit for the guy who he absolutely owns, and she has him call him like a dog or something, and then you hear her own critique of it where she's like, "Would he really need to call him that? That seems a little rude." And I'm like, "You need to stop." And then we get the shot of her basically naked. Yes, I get it. The Beta Epsilon stuff is overkill, as is
And
the princess's shopping for
And then
panties.
we have Iris and Alexia who are out shopping, and they're at or I think it's like Gamma or whatever's company.
It's
It's like
news.
a chocolate thing, and they're also producing female clothing. And so like we need clothing for this vacation. And she's like, I got just thing. It's this lovely thing. Can I introduce you to thongs? Which actually, as I found out from discussions, are actually very practical. In terms of leggings, you have to wear one with leggings. That's how it works.
So,
Um,
let's skip past this
so-
portion and just
so-
mention that the only good part of this bit is the part where she fucking bullies her sister into letting her buy it by chest by
sexually assaults
fucking
her
wall
sister
slamming
into
her
buying
sister in a changing room, being like,
the wall slam.
"What moral objection do you have to thongs? Do you have to stop me?" And she goes, "I guess I don't." And she goes, "I
I
win,
understand
easy, easy
I
victory."
went
The moral high
I tried
ground.
these on too. And so then they're in the city, then stuff happens, and now we're getting actual plot points of oh yeah, things are happening. And we just get this cut where like I think it's like Alpha's just like in
Yep.
this castle walking and
Church.
talking about fiction and stuff, and like you just have this prince who's just like
High
fucking
priest.
stabbed through like the high priest who's stabbed through like a sword on a statue by her, assumingly, and she just
Not
walks
her.
out slowly as the guard's like, "Wait, don't
Yeah,
do
not
that."
her.
No,
'Cause she-
not her. She walks in to find this. She's like, "Who the
Yeah.
fuck?
She found
Come
it.
And,
on."
Yeah,
Um,
the idea is that she found it, but now because she's there, she's
They think
technically
they're
the
right.
one who's been seen as doing it,
And
even
the
though she's already gone.
The update Sid gets is like, yeah, they've eliminated the target, which clearly the target that they were focusing on as of the Archbishop High Priest as the target of like, we know they're gonna go get him, we should try to stop it. It's like, no, they moved a little too quick.
Yeah.
Mhm. And then you
Sid
have,
also absolutely bodies a man with a popsicle stick.
Sid bodies
Oh,
him.
that was funny.
Not even a
Yeah.
popsicle stick. It's one of those like
Ice
the
cream
the,
spoons.
the ice cream
like,
spoons. Yeah.
scoopers.
Was it him that bodies him, or is it Epsilon that comes and kills him? Oh yeah, it is Sid. That's right.
It is it.
But Sid kills him, and Epsilon comes around, and she's talking to him. And honestly, I think this bit's kind of hilarious. And the boobs
Yeah, no, this bit
moving
was
as she's
great.
talking because she's forcing it to.
The good part about
basically.
the good
And
part
so
about the
it's like-
bit's the aftermath of it. The actual watch guy could care less
Yeah.
for, but I don't
I mean,
think
it's the fact
it's
that
fine.
again, it goes so over the top that you're
Yeah.
like, I see. That the joke is that she has dumb jiggle physics because those aren't real.
it's
I like how
fine.
it's just like,
Going.
and Sid just like walks away. She's like, she's a very proud woman. I can tell by how much slime she's piled onto her.
Dedicated to the cause. I enjoy the fact that in their 2 flashbacks, both Epsilons and Betas, you see the other one in the window.
Yeah.
I think that's neat and it's interesting. I don't know why. There are a couple of shots in this episode that are like, yeah, okay, I get it. Like, there are moments where it almost goes from parody of we know what we're doing to, okay, but you're also just doing it flat out. And I get it. You have a large cast of large-breasted female characters. You feel like you must. But the parts where like we fade in through the one animal member, and it does the shot of her laying in bed, and it just does a flat out crotch shot of her is a little much.
That being legitimately the first shot of the episode, I was like, "Yep, this is going."
I
on.
forgot
This
we
was-
fucking opened with it. See-
I saw that and I was like, "Yep, this is 5. I don't care what happens now."
Yeah. And what we know, Iris, is that her name or am I? What's
Which one?
the silver-haired
which-
one?
Alexia.
Alexia. Thank you. We know Alexia's also going to be here.
Yeah.
So like it's still saying I'm still gonna finish out this show. Again, I don't think this was a horrible episode. I still enjoy a lot of the bits that are dispersed throughout it.
Funny.
It's
this had a really shit start because it has the bit with Delta. I think was that one.
yeah, sure. Let's say
Sure.
I think she's Delta.
We
I
have
don't
the
remember
we have the other
anywhere
one
past
too.
Alpha, Beta, Gamma.
We have the engineer too, who bumps into a wall and then perfectly falls
That
onto
bit
their
was
pillow.
fucking
It's
hilarious.
good. No, it's good.
That was really funny.
I also enjoy the
Guys.
part.
Like the people crawling around her.
I
Yeah,
also
that was
enjoyed the
funny.
Beta Epsilon boob off, where just after a certain amount of time, I don't know which one it is because it's not new because new comes in later. But the ones just like, oh hi cat, can I have paw?
That was
Paw,
funny.
good boy.
That was
Can I
funny.
have
Like,
other
that
paw?
was
And it
funny.
just slowly
Yeah.
takes up more of the screen to block them out.
No, that was great.
Yeah.
It just like I really dislike the it wasn't a fan of the Beta Epsilon just like boob offing each
No,
other. 'Cause that part, I was
It's
annoying.
really silly. Yeah.
But then it cuts to New just in the front with the fucking cat. And I was like, this
It's
is
not new
this
because
is
new
good.
comes.
Right.
New comes. It's a different one because new comes up later.
Or, yeah,
Um,
whichever one it is,
yeah.
just sitting there playing with a cat in front of them, they're taking up more screen.
But like
Great.
there are parts of this episode that are like, I don't know why you did this. I don't know what your purpose was in doing a shot like
I think the
this.
thong bit was fine because again, it's so
Here-
over the top. That
Here's the part
ends
that
up working.
here's the part that got me in that one where I'm like, but you didn't have to do this shot. Is when the random shadow coworker flips it over, puts the new set of thongs on it, and then it does a shot that is very clearly meant to outline to outline the fact of how tight her outfit sticks to her body. And I'm like, I know what all these characters look like. I get they're all hot women. You've made that very clear in every other episode previously in every ED sequence. We don't need to keep highlighting. And there was no reason to do it besides to get them off camera talking. And I'm just like, eh. I do think Alexia's obsession with like trends is a really weird, funny bit to give her character.
This episode just kind of felt like ADHD.
Yeah.
I like how she's actually just like actively searching for ways to just get this boy to confess to her again.
Hey, one of
Yep.
one of her major competitions is out of the running. She wants to kill him now. She just doesn't know it.
Yeah, again, my favorite bit about this entire show is that I always forget that it takes place like the time period it takes place in is this weird like it's almost modern, but like also not, and also swords and magic.
And also, it's getting more modern because he's introducing things that are modern.
Yeah.
It's like kind of modern, but also they're still using horse-drawn carriages, but also they have ice cream.
And trains.
Brains.
Yeah, it's like when does this take place? The 1960s, maybe,
Let's go, baby.
but also swords and magic.
They explain why swords and magic are used instead of guns, though, right?
Did you guys know
Well, yeah,
that using the
swords and
back end
magic
of the
exists. You're
crowbar?
gonna use them.
Magic is broken.
I've watched Full Metal Alchemist.
Back of the crowbar. We're also totally going to that jungle temple that we saw the one Discover in like 4 episodes ago, because that just really feels like where we're going at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah, this episode's interesting. I'll give it that. It's something.
It legitimately is just like ADHD, the episode. Like, it doesn't feel like it can actually focus on any one thing until the halfway point. And then it's like, okay, no, we're doing this. We're on Sid, we're doing this. Cool. But, like, the first half of it is just like, booba. Okay, let's just kind of forget about that and just... Let's kind of zone off for a bit. Okay, more booba. And we're zoning off again. Sid.
Sid's back. Yo, Sid, what? I also like to imagine they wrote that they wrote that secret code and didn't realize he has no fucking idea how to read it.
That did get me.
It's so fun. Whenever Sid has those moments where he's like, I have no idea what I'm doing here.
Yeah.
Anyways, there's a bad guy. Kill.
Moving on. Sword this week. So yes, a large portion of this episode is spent with Fran getting exposition from Amanda about how stuff works. I get if that dulls this experience. I like this because, oh my lord, could we not have gotten this in the first couple episodes with everything else they were introducing to us. I think it would have been a bit much. I like it. I think if you're doing a dungeon crawl and you want to show off the fact that there are irregularities in the dungeon as they're going through it, and you want to show off what these other new NPCs can do, because we haven't really seen them do anything, you might as well also take the time to explain something that, like, your reader or audience might have questions about. It's nice to hear how the stuff works and learn some things we didn't know, like the magic compound system. It makes me wonder if you can combine more than 2 magics, and no one does because it's so fucking rare.
Yeah, the fact that she can use 3 is already insane.
Yeah. The fact that she can't use water is interesting. I didn't realize that. We hadn't. No, she can. She can use water. She can, right? She just hasn't.
Has to hide it.
Yeah, she hasn't shown it yet.
She's showing all 4.
Yeah, she hasn't shown it yet to Amanda. That's what it was. Yeah,
but she's shown 3 of them and not realizing that's a bad thing.
The question is, can she, or is it only because of Sword that give her skill to use?
It's because of him. We typically learned at the end she can't do shit without him.
Well, we know she can do some things without him. She had certain stats beforehand. She has
her own level and stats and skills.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of, like, they're just amplified so much because of the sword.
Well, because of the fact that she's, like, level, like, 20 or something, and his equipment level is, like, level 90.
Yeah.
So he is way above her level.
We're gonna have to see what she can do, because we again kind of go through this episode, taking out spiders. It's spider time, baby. Calling our spider riders. I'm not a fan of some of these spiders. We get teased at the beginning of this episode that the big bad's like an arachne. That is also not an arachne. It's a trickster spider, which I think is very silly of a naming convention. Hello, those small ones are trick spiders. Because there's a woman on it, it's a trickster spider. Which, with some context of how that works, is also still funny. Yeah, we also note there's a dude just fucking around outside somewhere who seemingly put this thing here or caused it to evolve or something, because again, the opening teases this of the episode. But they're going through the dungeon. People are working together. Yeah, we get double verification here that the rest of these people are all E-rank as groups, except for the, test holders. They do a good job of actually not having Amanda do jack shit for this entire time. It's really weird that they just kind of don't have Fran do anything for the first 2 floors, where they're like, no. This is too easy for even you. Talk to Amanda.
It's weird that the guy leading this expedition
is doing stuff.
Said, I'm not going to do anything. This is all on you guys. Is doing shit, and Fran is not.
I like to think that it's because his curiosity's gotten the better of him, where he's like, some of these things don't check. And I also want to make sure... I don't think he starts doing things until the 3rd floor, though. Because 1st floor, he has the other guys go, and then, like, once... It seems like he steps in once stuff starts to get a little out of hand, same with Fran. Like, they start to actually kill some things where there's a lot of fucking spiders. And Amanda doesn't do anything until the last area they get to together, where they realize, oh hey, these spiders, their venom just doesn't get solved by regular antidote. Instead, you have to magic antidote it away. It's also fucking lethal. Yikes. So Amanda and Fran deal with that, and then Fran wanders down a different path for a moment, and two of the guys from the Dragon's Roar are fucking have confuse inflicted on them and bump into her, knocking her into a trapped floor. This is very forced. I'm okay with it. It's not that bad. I'm interested to see what happens, because the floor has a teleportation and a disarm room. Which I'll give it credit. I wasn't ready for that part. I know they warned us about it, was not expecting it. We also have Dude in Testing Group, who is the designated trap remover, who purposely lets the head of the Dragon's Roar get fucked over by a couple traps because it's funny. He also just ignored one hallway because he felt like it, I guess. He's like, I just hadn't done that one yet, whoops! Which I guess, saves some time. Only do what you have to. They didn't expect to go that way.
I guess the idea is that he was just going through them, and
yeah,
it wasn't like he hadn't done only that hallway. It's just
that was a section of the dungeon they didn't do. Yeah. And then so then Fran gets separated from Teacher. Teacher, I'm interested to know why this is the case. Can't seem to locate her with all his fucking shit. I wonder what's blocking that, because he has, like... either they're really far out of his range, or there's some weird shit going on, because this dude's got, like, tremor sense, fucking X-ray, heat detection.
Yeah.
Like, all the shit. I'm excited to see what's gonna happen here, because he either's gonna have to out himself to, like, let people know he's a sword and Fran's in danger. I mean, like, because they still think she's in danger, but they know what she's capable of here. So, like, I was really expecting one of the guys to go to the head of the Dragon's Roar and be like, no. They'll be fine. Fran's with them. When we know that's not the case. I think she'll be okay. I'm not too worried right away, because we know there are some things she can do on her own. Like, she has her own class. She just doesn't have the sword, so I imagine she can do magic to some degree. Yeah. We just don't know what her affinities are by herself. I'm excited to see where this next episode goes.
I'm excited to see Fran fight Quelaag.
It be that way sometimes.
You know, like this was a good episode. I didn't dislike any of it. It's just the fact that it's 15 minutes of exposition certainly does get a little bit tiring. Yeah. And it's hard to be like, this was a great episode when it just spends that much time giving exposition.
Yeah, this very much seems like another we have to move you to next point of story episode, which is something this show's had done a couple times. This episode needed to happen
at some point.
Yeah.
Because this is all super important information, and this is a good place to put it. It's just hard to call this a great episode.
She also wants to zappy zap. Let her zappy zap.
That part was really good.
And she gave Amanda curry.
Yeah,
which leads to the
sign of trust. She gave her curry, therefore she is now.
She won't let her hug her, but she'll give her curry.
Also, I also like how you can visibly see that she gives Amanda a different version of the curry than she has.
Yeah.
I don't remember which one she gives to each, but one of them's the mild and one of them's the medium. Because you can see in the bowls after the fact, one's the yellow color, one's the orange color, and I think that was really nice.
She probably gave Amanda the mild to be safe.
Yeah.
And she took the meat, because I don't imagine Fran just usually eats the mild. She seemed to like the medium. So.
Fran like all curry because Fran is adorable.
Well, yeah, it's because curry's the king of food.
Yes, king of food. And we get the bit with the Dragon's Roar where he's like, yo, bro, you want your bread with bacon in it? And he's like, I guess. Fucking I want whatever that shit is. Give me that.
Sandwich with meat in it?
I got some meat for
Where'd
you.
she get that?
It certainly is an episode.
I really like the exposition personally. Like, I like that.
Yeah, I don't.
Here. It's a good place to put it. It's a good time for it. Like, it doesn't spoil anything. It doesn't like do anything like to ruin stuff. And it's like, it doesn't feel like it's forced exposition. It feels like a part of the dungeon where they're like, yeah, we have nothing else to do. Can you explain how the magic of this world works? She's like, yeah, sure. And you're like, oh, that's how it works. Neat. I didn't know this.
It also does do a decent job of her being like, do you not remember how you upgrade your skills? And Fran's just like, it just kind of happened. I just didn't know
upgrade
exactly how it did. And it's like, and like, and my brain's like, she's a black cat. I think this is probably how she gets by, where they're like, maybe people just don't know how black cats work. They might be different for them. We also know they're in a dangerous spot now where certain skills are monster-only skills, and that could get them in a lot of trouble.
That's probably why everyone freaked the fuck out when she did the, like, jump in midair thing, in the Goblin Dungeon.
Yeah, it seemed like that's a monster skill or a very advanced particular class skill, which is why people were like, why does she have that? Also, this elf guy has really been keeping an eye on Fran the past couple episodes.
He also has squinty eyes, and I can't tell, but it might be a Kansai accent. No.
But he, I was thinking about it, he is staring a lot at her while they're upgrading her magic levels. And that has me interested as to why. Like, if he has something that lets him, like, sense magic affinity or something.
I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah. Also, hello, Naruto Chakra, how you doing? We just removed one element of it.
I mean, to be fair, most magic systems run off of this.
Yeah. Usually lightning isn't in your base. Usually you have to make it. Naruto was just like, haha, funny lightning.
Yep.
But that was the only thing I could think of when they're like, if you combined water and fire. I'm like, oh, I know how these work, kind of.
You make life. What?
Again, man, do I just want to play this game.
Yo, I love dust magic.
You mean rupee? Wait, those are two different things.
So, Tyranitar used dust magic.
No, using dust isn't magic or
I
something.
know, that's why I said they're two different things.
Maybe.
Kind of.
Like, sandwiches are also magic,
dust
but
magic,
not
go!
magic.
And your opponent's like,
but like that other magic is magic. But I can't say that other magic, because that's a spoiler, technically.
Crazy to think about the fact that they break everything down, and they're like, yeah, and then there's life and death, and then they do the fucking... I'm doomed, by the way. I'm gonna get owned in a couple of days by some friends when they decide to make the point to me about this. We've had an ongoing argument in my D&D group about whether you can have such a thing as a good necromancer. My argument's always been, jokingly, no, because if you're a necromancer, the things you're doing are very particular. You can have a good person who uses necromancy. My argument is there's a difference. This show just flat out goes, no, I know a guy who's a necromancer. He's a little weird, but...
I disagree.
He's a bit eccentric.
You can be a very good necromancer and a terrible person.
True.
Most of them are.
I'm not judging them on
necromancy, the worse of a person you are.
Yeah, that's my argument. Morally, you're probably not good if you're a necromancer.
Have to die for you to be a successful business person.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing with necromancy is like it really depends on how they treat, like, how necromancy actually functions in the world.
Yeah.
Because if it's essentially animating bones or dead bodies, not actually the worst. If it's bringing things back to life, like, and enslaving them to do your bidding, that's bad.
It's a complicated mess.
Also remember, Revivify is a necromancy spell.
Yes, no, exactly. So, like, my whole point is, if you are a necromancer, who in my brain means you specialize in all things necrotic, and usually has an implication of you fuck with the dead, maybe you're not a good person. On a moral level. I'm not saying that, like...
all clerics are evil.
Hi, it's Chainsaw Man time.
Hi! Chainsaw Man. So, we get some shit this week. We see one of my, we start off with one of my favorite bits from the entire manga, which is, we start off where Aki wakes up in the hospital after everything. We kind of just cut from the shit that happened last week to this, where Denji's just fine. He's grown back his lower half.
Power's here.
Power's here. She ran off, but she's back now. And they're both reading a manga next to Aki and eating the apples that someone dropped off for him. And we find, like, Aki learns that most of the special division died. including Himeno. And they, like, Denji and Power leave, and he attempts to light a cigarette. And he drops the cigarette out of his mouth and starts crying. And God, this scene fucked me up in the manga, and it fucked me up here. God, that scene's so good. It hurts so bad, but it's so good. And as he's doing this, Denji leaves the manga in the room and goes to go grab it. He's like, "Fuck, I can't do that. Man's is crying. Like, I can't interrupt that."
You don't interrupt the man when he's crying.
No. Speaking of which, why the fuck can't I cry? Like, I'm sad when Pochita died, but I didn't cry. I should be sad about Himeno dying because she was the only person who ever actually wanted to be my friend. But I'm not sad about that. If Makima died, who is quite literally my reason for living right now, I'd be bummed.
For like 3 days.
For like 3 days, and then I'd be good. Like, I'd be back at it totally fine. Fuck, what is wrong with me? And then Makima ends up bringing him and Power out to the Devil Hunter graveyard, where, damn, there's a lot of graves. Fuck. And we meet, I forget his name, because they don't tell me here, and I think his name gets said once.
Do we want his name for the sake of it?
Yes, please.
Kishibe?
Yeah, it's Kishibe.
Kishibe?
Yeah.
Nanami.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna call him Nanami.
It is Kishibe, because I remember he has the same name as fucking Rohan from Part 4. But yeah, it's Kishibe, who is quite literally the strongest devil hunter in existence. This man is fucking broken. And Makima goes, "Hey, can you train them?" And he goes, "I'm gonna ask you 3 questions. I forget the actual questions, but I know the last one is, whose side are you on, humans or devils?" And both of them go, "Whichever one gives me more shit."
Are you
like, cool?
Are you sad that your friends died? Do you want revenge?
Yeah.
Which side are you on?
Yeah. And both of them are like, "Nah, no, not really. Like, that's fucking stupid, honestly."
That's cringe.
We know a guy, and like, I don't know, man.
Yeah. And he's like, "Cool, you guys pass with flying colors. I'm gonna turn you into a couple of badasses because you need to be, otherwise you're gonna fucking die." What happens next is he proceeds to kill both of them for the next day.
God,
and then goes, "Cool, I'm gonna keep on doing this until you can eventually fucking beat me, because if you can beat me, you can beat literally anything. See you guys tomorrow. I'm gonna come by your place." And so they walk back and they're like, "You know what we gotta do? We gotta outsmart him. That's what we gotta do." These 2 fucking idiots, these absolute fucking brainlets, are like, we gotta outsmart him. I feel smarter already. We can do this." And they try, and they fail miserably.
Hey, but they got close.
They got close. Like, Power almost stabs him.
They got the glasses on. That does a lot.
The glasses are wonderful.
As someone who wears glasses, like, it adds at least 3 IQ points.
And then, like, they have a decent plan. It's just Kishibe's reactions are so fucking insane that it doesn't matter. And he kicks the shit out of Denji. Power is anemic.
I love this bit so much.
He's like, "Do you guys know why you lost? You didn't see my hit coming, Denji, and Power's just a fucking idiot, and she got anemic when she uses her power too much. But you did better this time. We'll start up tomorrow." And Denji's like, fuck," and then gets a knife in the head. And Kishibe goes,
Lesson number 2.
Lesson number 2: don't ever fucking trust anyone who's hunting you, you dipshit.
Like, I love it. I love where he's just like, "We'll pick this back up tomorrow. I'm going out drinking." And they're like, "Did you hear that, Power? We're done for the day."
Two things I really love about this interaction. One, we have hit the point now where Denji no longer calls her Power, he just calls her Powie. Which makes every interaction with them 10 times better. Where he's just like, "You hear that, Powie? We're done for the day." Chink! And that I like to imagine that not only does he not just kill him once and then leave and go do that shit, he just spends the entire rest of the day kicking the shit out of them anyway.
Yeah.
Denji, how many times did I die? At least 20.
I also love the bit when they're walking back and Denji's just like, I want to be like one of those smart shonen pro tags. I'm like, wait, which one? Who are you talking about?
Wait,
Right.
Denji, one problem. You're a shonen pro tag, but you ain't smart.
Name me one smart shonen pro tag. I'll wait.
Oh wait.
Kageyama.
Ed.
He nods his.
Kageyama's
Ed's
not
like
smart. We've seen
Ed's
the
like the
grades.
closest you get, I
I
think.
Ed is quite literally the closest you can possibly get to smart.
And he's still
And even
pretty
then,
dumb sometimes.
He has his moments of being a fucking idiot.
Cause I say
Shonen.
I argue Hinata's more the main character
Um,
than Kageyama. So like, he's
Yeah,
real
right.
dumb.
He's one of the
Hinata's
pro tags,
really
though.
dumb.
No, but like he gets like kind of smart.
Like Sasuke's
But
kind
he's
of smart,
dumb.
but he's not the pro tag.
Yeah.
Naruto is.
Yuji
Naruto's a
Itadori.
fucking
Naruto's
idiot.
so smart. What do you mean?
Yuji's
He's so
dumb.
good at-
No.
Yuji's
Okay.
dumb.
Yeah,
What do you
but
mean?
like
Naruto's so smart. He's so good
Sukuna's
at
smart.
using
So like,
Ichigo is actually decently smart. I will
Kind-
say that. Ichigo is actually really smart.
Here's the thing: all of these characters do have a level of smartness to them, more than Denji does. We'll give them all. We'll give a
Yes.
lot of
Here's
them
the
credit,
thing.
but
We're
they're
digging
all
really deep to
still.
find one
They're
who's
all
above
still.
100
They're
IQ
all
points.
still fairly dumb. The fact that there are moments in Bleach where Ichigo goes, "Okay, how do I gotta do this? What would Kenpachi do?" is how you know he's dumb. Is that his
Yeah.
first thought to go to of who is reference is fucking Kenpachi.
Kenpachi.
He's right, unfortunately, because Kenpachi's a beast and it's gonna work. But it's still
It's
Kenpachi.
also like Kenpachi is a fucking like
Monster.
mistake. He's a fucking mistake.
Yeah,
What
he is.
Like that man should not exist, but he does.
Like, all of these characters get smarter when, like, they're in tune or, like, ready to battle. Like, that's just the way... Like, Goku's technically not, like, super, super dumb throughout Z. He's real dumb at the beginning of Z.
Yeah.
He gets a lot better the more he dies. It's like he gains brain cells every time he dies in the show.
Also, this is the same motherfucker who gave Cell
Yes.
because
But,
he
like-
wanted a decent fight.
Yeah.
Like,
Want to know
Goku's
who's smart? Izuku Midoriya from My Hero
Okay,
Academia.
yeah.
That's actually kind of his thing. Is
That
that
is
he's
his thing.
smart.
I'll give you that one. We finally found it.
But
Also,
yeah,
Ichijo from Nisekoi is kind of smart.
You can't say Eren from Attack on Titan because he's not just a pro tag, he's an ant tag. So
He's also
Um,
an idiot.
let's
Have
keep
you seen
talking
the
about-
beginning of Attack on Titan?
let's keep talking about Chainsaw Man.
But yeah, Chainsaw Man. The last bit of this episode is the two that we get from Special Division 1 have come to Aki and they're like, hey, so you've got two options right now. You can either leave and enjoy whatever amount of time you have left, because we know you have the Curse Devil and they're taking years off of your life. Which, by the way, we learned Aki has 2 years left to live. 2. The other option is, my guy, Fox Devil's gone. You got to get some more powerful devils under
Fox
your
Devil's
belt.
pissed.
She angry at you. Why you sending her into a snake?
Yeah. So they're like, "What do you want to do, dude?" And he's like, "I got shit to do. I need stronger devils."
I'm so
So, like,
excited.
all right, cool. Come with us. And they take him to where they house all of the devils that they've captured alive. And we get Aki going into a room that is a very securely locked to go to make a contract. They don't say who it is, but do they? No,
I think
they do say
they do. They
yeah,
say it's gonna
they-
be.
It's the Future Devil, and I love the Future Devil so much. Future Devil's wild. That's all I'll say because I don't want to spoil anything. But like, fuck, I'm really excited.
Just a big question: how the fuck did they capture these strong devils alive?
Mostly Kishibe,
Very carefully.
Yes, very carefully.
very carefully, with a lot of tact and skill.
Sorry, don't mind me, guys. I'm getting something.
Some devils are like especially like some of the weaker ones are like weaker. Like if people use like the Fox Devil just grabs them and just moves them somewhere else.
There it is.
I'm excited for my
Um,
boy.
There's also some devils where they just actually are like fine with mankind. Like the Fox Devil is actually pretty decent to mankind.
Yeah, Fox Devil
Um,
just kind of vibes.
I'm gonna be a little bit pissed now.
Box Devil only pissed at specifically Aki, not like humanity as a whole.
No,
Well,
the Foxhole
he
is
must be
also now
confused.
pissed at the Katana Devil.
Yeah, Fox is also pissed at Katana Man, but like,
Or yeah, the
and the
Katana
Snake
Fiend.
Devil, and the Snake Devil.
Yeah.
Got bones to pick
But
with them.
yeah, I'm very excited for the Future Devil because Future Devil is interesting.
I want to find out what devil what's her name has.
Makima? Oh,
No.
Kobeni.
Kobeni.
Oh, Benny. I know Makima's, unfortunately.
Yeah, you fucking spoiled loser.
Reading is dangerous.
Yeah.
What do you mean? Kobeni got the Gluck Gluck 3000 Devil.
Stop it.
I thought she got the Dance Dance Revolution devil.
There are some
Might
parts.
also have that one, but she got the Gluck Gluck.
Revolution.
There are some parts of this episode that look real fucking pretty.
It's a very good
So
episode.
good.
I wish we got more of, and like this is also a complaint with the source material. I wish we got more out of the letters from Himeno.
Yeah,
Because like I get it. Like the important thing right now is that Aki knows that he had the chance to stop Himeno from dying by if he had just walked away. If he wasn't consumed by revenge. It's fine. He's totally not still consumed by revenge. It's definitely not
He's
still his
totally
main
also
motive.
not gonna be someone who's totally gonna get himself killed being consumed by revenge and not being quite having as much of a screwless as a character who needs to survive.
Correct.
Mhm.
He still cries though. That's important.
yeah.
We talk about something important, guys.
What?
Whenever I like need character names and stuff, obviously I'm gonna pull up like the Annie list page or whatever.
Mhm.
And so I'm getting ready for the next show, and it's currently rated number 25, highest rated show of all time on Annie list.
I mean, it's a pretty good show.
It's a pretty good show.
I don't know about top
It
25.
it passed Chainsaw Man in
It is
ranking.
currently the top ranked non-sequel of this season
Yeah.
on
Yeah.
now.
Slightly above Chainsaw Man.
Yeah, it's the only thing above it for this season is Thousand Year Blood War.
Yeah, Thousand Year Blood War is number 7 all time right now.
Yeah, that's cheating.
I mean,
Yeah.
Thousand Year Blood War is really good.
It's
It's really
but by the
good.
way, Thousand Year Blood War is currently number 2 on Mao.
Yeah, I'm not
Yeah, it's at
surprised.
a 9-1.
It's not 25. It's 34 from what I'm seeing.
It's 24 on Mao.
Bleach Code is what I heard.
Bocchi is 24
Bocchi.
on Mao.
Gotcha.
Fucking crazy.
Yeah, Chainsaw Man's 27.
But yeah,
Yep.
back on Chainsaw Man. Chainsaw Man's good. I'm really enjoying it. I want to see what the Future Devil does. Future Devil sounds scary. What is he taking in exchange for future? But you don't have one, so what are you gonna offer Aki? And I don't want to know.
Your sight, taste,
I just
touch,
hope-
everything, all your senses
hope
just gone.
I just hope it doesn't do that thing where it's like, what'd you get for it? You'll have to find out, and then just never tells you until like a critical moment. Like Sukuna has a deal with Yuji. Spoilers by the way for Jujutsu Kaisen. That where he might just take over
This
his
is a
body
spoiler
at
for
any
like I
point.
think an episode fucking 2.
Like,
Yeah.
like at some point he's gonna take over Yuji's body. We don't know when or where or
There's
why
some
it will
bad
happen,
shit
but it's
with
gonna
it.
happen. In the manga, it hasn't happened yet.
There's your spoiler, Michael. We still don't know.
I mean, I assumed it's gonna be one of those things where the author just completely forgot, or it's going to be like the way they do some dumb bullshit to get us into one of the final problems.
There's a pretty clear implication of what it's gonna be tied to, in my
Yeah.
opinion. It feels like one or two things, but I think it's I can't wait. I really hope we sit down and do a JJK season 2 podcast as it airs, because oh boy, there are some things I can't wait to talk about.
God,
About,
this
like-
it's gonna be so good.
But
Anyways,
Before
Chainsaw
that,
Man's also very good. Future
Bocchi.
Devil's exciting.
Bocchi time.
Makima go. Makima really just do that trick where you go to. Bocchi's good this week. I watched this with Mason and my girlfriend in the call, and I think this is the episode that felt the longest to me of all the Bocchi episodes. It felt like a really long episode, and I laughed so many times in this episode. It opens up with Bocchi just like daydreaming about like showing up to Cultural Trust and being like, I heard you need a band to take care of your open slot. And then I was like, I love you, Bocchi. Have my babies." And then she goes, I was sleeping. And then their class decides on a maid cafe, and she's like, death approaches. But then she hears looking for signups for the performances for the cultural festival day, and then she's like, wow, that'd be crazy, and she blacks out, and next thing she knows, she has a sign up sheet that she filled out outside of the student council room. She goes, how'd I get here? What is this form?
Who did
wrote
this?
I wrote this. When? And then just like decides not to fill it out and like passes out.
And it dies again, yeah.
And then Kita takes her to the nurse's room and she goes, wait, I can't tell Kita. She'll be 2 weeks and she'll turn it in immediately and we'll have to do it. And so then she convenes with older sister, and older sister's like, you should do it, but like only if you want to. And so they talk with it about the band. They're like, this is a good idea, but like only if you want to, Bocchi. We don't want to force you to do it. It's like, that's good friendship. And then the next day she's at school and she's like, that'd be crazy if I did that. And like, but like instead I could go with the arc where like no one knew I was famous back in high school and they wouldn't know who I was and be like, oh yeah, I know Bocchi. It's crazy that she's famous now. And then she's talking to Kita and she's like, wow, close call. We almost turned that in. And Kita's like, no, I did. And then her face goes Picasso. And then she makes a bunch of penny references like the Scream.
Yep.
And it's fucking amazing. And then we fast forward to them getting to work and she's in a coffin. And then it just has a sign on Kita that says, I am a murderer. They're going to label me a murderer. I am a criminal. And our bassist shows up. And we have more funny moments. Where she's like, I was scared too. I was nervous, a wreck like you were, and social anxiety is a bitch. So I found a solution. It's called alcohol. Would you like to drink, Bocchi? And she's like, I am still a child. Then older sister gets Rio and our bassist to pay back Bocchi for the money that she's loaned out. And the bassist's like, hey, how about you guys come to our show in return for your show? And they go to the show, and the bouncer's just the guy selling tickets, like this, like
The
very
club owner.
like meta, like he's the club owner. He's got like 17 piercings. He's like got a scowl on. But he's like, oh, you guys are so cute. He's just a big softie, and it's great. But then they meet her band, and you have a blonde-haired, blue-eyed girl who clearly is foreign from England. Because welcome to Japan anime. But then they have a band who has a nice balance of crazy characters, and they listen to their band. They're like, wow, they're like not so good. What's that like? And they get a little discouraged, but then go, wait, now we can do that. And so I think the next couple episodes we're gonna get into a school festival arc.
We also get
great.
the bit where Kita is like, hey,
I'm sorry.
I knew, like I lied. I knew that you didn't want to submit it. Whoops. And
Oh,
we
like, I
also
really did.
we also hear that she wants to hear Bocchi play more. No one's told her about the online account yet. Whoops. That's my headcanon for her. She doesn't know that Bocchi has an entire YouTube channel she can listen to.
I don't know if Rio's figured it out yet, because she feels like the kind of character that just doesn't go on the internet.
I feel like she's known the entire
or
time.
she's known and just isn't saying anything.
Yeah.
Like Nijika's gonna say, and she could be like,
And
"You didn't
She's
already
gonna be like,
know
wait,
that?"
wait, you figured that out? Ichiko and Rio's like, I've known since the moment we invited Bocchi to the band.
Like that's not the reason you invited her. Is Nikki's gonna be like, who?
Yeah, I really like this
He's
episode. It's a
hot
really good
hero.
episode. Something really neat about this episode is it super highlights I can't think of her name right now, but the drunk
Hiroi. God, she's so good.
her design is even better than I thought it was, because when she steps on stage to play, the way they get to play with the spirals in her eyes that are always
so
there
good.
for the psychedelic
She's so
effect
fucking
is so good.
It's
Oh my
So
God,
good.
Damn. God damn, that song was good.
That I
as
can't
fuck.
I can't wait to go get the full version of that for later.
I also like that, like, Hiyori is the vocalist too.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
is very funny.
She
Usually
said
drunk
that
and
she
break
did
stuff.
both, yeah.
Because she's usually drunk and breaks stuff, so it's amazing she can sing, like, coherent words.
I was really expecting this episode to do like a kind of stereotypical, oh wow, they sound so good. Oh no, she's thrown up on stage is your next cut. And they didn't do it. They let them just play out the song well. And I'm like, that's actually really nice. That's like very comforting to get this entire scene play out. I'm very hyped for this
I think my favorite part about this too
festival.
is the fact that, like, it's not like you're like, we're the big bad boss. You have to be better than us to take this turn. It's like, no, we want you to succeed too, because we're all in this shitty, terrible industry together. That's very hard to break into. And even once you do, it's still terrible. Music's a really rough industry. Really fascinating one, but like it's just all like, hey, good luck, guys. If you need help, you can come talk to us. We're cool.
I can't wait for the crossover episode where Kisoku Band gets to play with the fucking girl from Kongming.
Oh my god.
Psycho.
Yeah,
Like an echo.
special
echo.
movie. No, this episode's really good. I'm really happy to be back to like, because I wasn't a fan of last week comparatively to what this show does on a usual. Like, this show is really good. It has a very high bar in my opinion of what it does every week.
So much. This episode felt so long too. Like
I-
so much happened in it.
I didn't think it didn't feel that way to me, but I really liked the episode and I did laugh a lot. It's kind of a return to where it was for me.
I mean,
So I
it
was
did
super
feel like
happy
a
with
lot
it.
happened. I'll say that, but it felt like long in a good way, where it was just
Yeah.
like a lot of stuff
It-
happened.
I feel like any episode where they actually play, it feels long.
Fair.
And I think
I
that's
am a
just the
murderer.
nature of it, and I've really enjoyed the episodes where they've done that.
Look, I'm also just happy because it's named after my favorite Asian Kung Fu Generation song.
Yeah. There are so many. This show unabashedly references AFK,
Yeah.
AKF, G.
Yes.
AK
I
is
just
it
say
AKG? Yeah, it's AKG. Yeah. Because there's so many posters that are just them. That are just like slightly changed AKG posters, just like around the entire show, and I love it. I also really enjoyed the bit earlier in the episode, where Bocchi's like, if I let Kita see that I have this, she's going to
cut out like
and
star
it's
eyes,
just
like, zoomed
it's
in.
just her bouncing around the screen and gets really close. I'm like, this is good. I enjoy. Very good. I like having more from Kita, like, than just I am horny for Rio.
Yeah.
To also have her be like, I really, really admire Bocchi's playing and I want to hear more of it. Because that's really like, that is the character they set her up with. She finds them through Bocchi's playing and is like, hey, that sounded real fucking cool. Why don't you sound the same when we played as a group? What the fuck?
God was I not ready for when she comes to the bar after like being in the nurse's office, and the first scene is just her stepping into the fucking garbage
Yeah.
can. Just placing herself in.
I must return to where I belong. And then the manager's like, okay, what's
Please do
wrong
some
this
work.
time? Talk to me. Oh, you're
I'm
both
just-
high school
I'm-
dropout.
I'm just very excited because I got spoiled a bit on one of the jokes from next episode, and I'm very excited for it, and I think everyone knows what it is if they've seen it.
I haven't seen it, so I'm very happy.
You're gonna love it, is all I'll say.
I do kind of not care for the end of this episode being the, oh no, Bocchi's not here, because I know this is gonna get resolved.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're trying to like give us some amount of a cliffhanger.
I already
which
want to watch
wouldn't
your
have
next
been there in the
episode.
initial manga.
Yeah.
Yeah, it very much didn't need to be there.
I mean, it might have been there, and that I could see that being the end of a 4-panel. Is
Yeah,
I guess.
that shot? So like, I wouldn't be too
Like,
surprised.
okay, we're all here, ready to go.
Where's Bocchi?
Oh god.
And like, I hope I expect they will. I hope they do something with it, and it isn't just like a very throwaway thing. Like, I also want to hear them play again though. So like,
I want to see like the snafu scene on the rooftop Mason from season 1 with Bocchi.
I want this school festival to be as impactful as Takagiya School Festival. That's a tall order, I know,
That's a very tall order.
but I can try. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I have our results. It is 4 vote-offs for Eminence and Shadow, 1 on Sword. I wonder what'll go
It
next.
had a good run. It had a good run.
Guys, I can't handle the 3 of you. Bocchi, the painting. Bocchi, the goat again. Forgetta, Booba. What's wrong with all of you?
Bocchi the painting.
Mental illness.
I just see
Man,
booba, bochi,
wait,
bochi,
what is that
booba,
from,
bochi,
mate? I feel
bochi.
like that's
No, it's not.
something makes a joke like that, and I can't think of what it is. I don't know if it's a video or something, but like you just triggered something in my brain that was just like
Now-
I know this joke. For
Now
some
the only
reason.
thing I can think about with you going mental illness is the fucking Ruby scene where John's on the fucking roof and Pyrrha walks down.
Oh
Pyrrha,
my
I'm not.
God.
Well, no, she
I'm
brings.
not
Hey,
far
come with
gone.
me, John. I have a place we can go to help you out. Walks to roof. Pyrrha, I'm not that far gone. Jesus Christ,
Fun.
that bit's so good.
No,
Oh.
Mason, see the image you just posted, but like the Full Metal Alchemist scene where it's like it's a terrible day for Rain, but it's not raining, Colonel.
Yeah.
Yes, it is, Lieutenant.
Oh,
I still think
I see.
I think Tales from Boxing Day hits harder.
It's
that
pretty good.
scene fucking hurts.
I will say
Um,
though, like I
but
think
guys,
like Full Metal
Memcho
Alchemist has some of the
VTuber.
funniest cuts of like clips you've ever seen. Like I was watching back on Twitter and it appeared a cup from like the fight with Envy, whereas she's just like getting Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood spoilers, by the way. If you haven't seen it, like go do that. We've all seen it, right?
Yeah.
No.
Have you not?
He hasn't seen
I-
Brotherhood.
Yeah, no, I watched original, then immediately went into Brotherhood and went, oh, this is a retelling. And then
For a bit.
just having,
Uh,
it's a not as good retelling, and
Right.
then it then gets better. It's just I
So-
haven't gone back and
It's the scene where
Finish
Hawkeye
it.
just goes, "I lied." Bang.
Yeah.
That's all
So-
you need to know, and I love that clip so much to death.
So, legitimately, Michael, what the fuck are you doing for one? But for two,
He's doing the gay strat.
the way you actually do it is you watch the first episode of Brotherhood. You watch like 26
Honestly-
episodes. You watch like 26 episodes of original, and
Yeah,
then
no,
you just
I-
switch back to
you
Brotherhood.
know, I should just skip to where the difference
Do you
starts.
really have to watch the first Brotherhood episode?
It's not bad.
But you don't need to watch
You
it.
don't need to, but it's a good way of just like,
So-
hey, this
It's
is
a
what
throw off.
this is what Brotherhood's
I
like.
guess, yeah.
Yeah, no, it was just a really weird thing because like I went from original into Brotherhood, not knowing what it was going to be, and it having a different voice cast and looking different also was a really jarring thing to go into.
I mean, the only person that's different, as far as I remember,
I mean,
is...
I was watching it dubbed because I watched FMA
Yeah.
back in 2014.
Yeah, no, I watched it up
And
too.
Al are
I've-
different voice actors.
Are
and
they
if they're the
both?
same
No,
voice actor, they
and-
sound completely different.
Ed's the same. Al is different
Okay.
because it
Yeah, remember
was
Ed sounding different? Al sounds like a girl now.
Al is different because it was because the voice actor for Al is now the voice actor for Shirogane. I grew up. For like the voice actor for Al in original FMA grew up and now has a deep ass voice and couldn't do
Yeah.
it anymore.
And it was just one of the things where it was like a super jarring change. And I just
Brother.
haven't gone back. I haven't felt like going back to watch Brotherhood.
You could probably go back now and honestly just watch the whole thing of Brotherhood and
Yeah,
and
again,
you'd be
'cause
fine.
I watched original in
Yeah.
like 2014.
Yeah, you'd be
Yeah.
fine now. Because that's what I watched
You'd be fine.
original really early and then went into Brotherhood. And I was like, it's good.
I would-
I had no issues.
Yeah,
I watched-
it's just one of those things where I need to sit down and watch 68 episodes or whatever because that's how long Brotherhood is.
54?
Yeah, it's 60.
Oh, is it?
64.
Is it
60
60?
something.
Ah, I thought it was
It's
There's-
64.
I think the original's 50 exactly or something.
Yeah. And then you also have Sacred or Conqueror of Shambhala, which
Yeah,
technically
you
is
do
canon
technically have
after all.
Conqueror of Shambhala and Sacred Star of Milos. Those are
I
both
have-
movies that existed.
Yeah, you
I
don't have to
never
watch
watched
Star of
Sacred Star of
Milos.
Milos. I've
You
watched,
don't have to. Trust
I've
me.
watched Conqueror of Shambhala because it's very technically what the end of the story is supposed to be. Like, it's what
64.
happens after the cliffhanger at the end. but, like,
64 is the episode count, yeah. A lot of our shows for next season are gonna be Crunchyroll from what I've looked at. Like they
Yeah,
have a
are they?
lot of shit.
I mean, they have a lot, but there's also a lot of things that I want. There's like two things I wanted to pick that I don't think were in that set.
I looked at
There's-
their list and it was
But I
a
might also
lot.
just. That, I
Some
mean,
of the posters are different from what I'm used to
Uh,
seeing. Oh, I don't know if
I-
Kubo's
I
there.
Yeah, I don't believe Kubo's on Crunchyroll. I don't know if I saw Sugar Fairy Tale.
It is. It's there.
Sugar Fairy
I
Tale
It's
was
there.
Sugar Happy Fairy. I'm so fun. I don't know what the show's gonna do, but I'm scared.
I'm gonna
for it.
compile. I'm gonna compile that list soon. So
Cool.
we're
'Cause
getting
there's-
close.
there's exactly one thing on that list where I was just like, I really want this, and then there were a few others where I was like, I'd be fine with this.
Yeah,
There's
I know.
some
I
really
know
cool
what
looking
I
shows
know
next
what yours
season.
is if it hasn't changed, and it's on
It has
Crunchyroll.
not. It has not.
I saw it on
I'm just-
Crunchyroll.
I'm just worried about a certain someone taking it.
My show's on there, and I'm getting
I
it.
would never.
Part of me actually considered maybe not going for it because I'm like, I don't think Tomoe-chan's gonna win, and if I really want to win, I should probably pick something else as my first pick. But it's also, I think I'm still gonna take it first.
Nah.
Michelle,
Going
also,
for
like,
wins
what
is
if John
cringe.
picks this show?
I mean,
Ah,
we
fuck,
had
there's a PA work show.
we
goddammit.
had realistically, I thought,
I didn't
already
realize
made
this
it
was my
pretty
PA
clear that
works.
Tomoe-chan was mine because I've read the manga. Give me it.
Listen,
We have to give him some amount of rom-com. We can't just take all of them.
He has plenty of options, and some
I
of
know
them
what you
look
mean.
good.
I don't even pick rom-coms, guys. I don't like.
Yeah, look how well it went for him this season.
Yeah. You didn't
I also
pick a
enjoy how
rom-com,
the
and you had-
PA work show doesn't have a fucking synopsis currently.
Which one?
Buddy Daddies.
Well, he doesn't
Oh.
need a synopsis. It's Gay Spy
It's-
Family.
It's Gay Spy Family. That's what it is.
True.
Very excited for that. By the way, we are absolutely planning out, and you're not. I will hold this hostage. We are not starting next season until we watch Terror in Resonance and podcast on it.
Okay. Is Nier a fair game, by the way?
I haven't played the game, so
Neither
Neither have I.
It should.
Proto said it's a retelling
It's
of
a-
Automata.
same with the
so-
Trails
seems
of
pretty
same with the
good.
Trails of story.
I heard one of the biggest draws of Nier was the
Trails
fact that
too.
the story was fucking outstanding.
The
Yeah.
Trails one, I think, is also a free game. It seems like we should be able to interact with it without knowing.
Wait, there's an anime that's gonna be about a character who just becomes a hot big boob girl's dog.
Yes,
Yeah.
Yes.
it's short form. You
That
can't
one-
pick it. Get fucked.
There's gonna be
cannot pick
so
it.
many panty shots in that show.
It's
Holy
really
shit.
bad. It's really
really
bad,
Like,
John.
it is like
I've
almost
I've read like the first 2-3 chapters. It's horrible. It is
Also, guys,
basically
it's
porn.
tragic. It's come out that Oshinoko is gonna be on High Dive.
sad.
Well, we'll just have to get High Dive.
PP hands.
My girlfriend actually has a High Dive account. What was the other? Something to talk about before we close out. Gundam's episode was delayed to next week. The one that would have come out this week. So it's going to come
That
out.
explains why Gundam didn't have an extra. I was like, I don't remember Gundam being like Chainsaw Man. I know we were directly on its
Yeah,
stuff.
so that episode comes out Sunday. So which is fine. It comes out Christmas. We're not podcasting that weekend anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll have to figure that out. I will say Gundam is very lucky that it started early and we synced the way we did, because I think this is now its second episode that didn't come out on time.
On time.
Throughout the course of us watching, which is how it's now caught up with us, is that it had 2 different weeks where it didn't air.
Kind of worked out perfectly, to be honest.
Yeah, it's very lucky for it. Not so lucky for people who are watching it week by week, obviously. And that would have been
Sorry,
a very huge thing for us. That's only happened. I could literally count on one hand, I think, how many times that has happened, 3 or 4, not counting the whole COVID season where everything died. But Darwin's Game, Azure Lane, Babylon. Did anything else miss an episode air?
Was there? I feel like it happened once while I've been on podcast.
I think there was. I think it did. I think I think Wonder Egg missed an episode.
It was one. I wasn't here for Wonder Egg.
I was making a joke, but I think Wonder Egg actually did miss one episode.
There's
I think
one.
I don't know if I missed an
It
episode.
had the
but
recap.
I know
Recaps. If you're counting
like,
recaps,
there's
eggs.
recap. There's been a lot of those.
Yes.
Tokyo 24th Ward. I think
Yeah.
Tokyo 24th Ward had that where it missed an episode or something like that.
It might have
I think
also
that
been a
one might have
recap.
It
Usually,
might have
when
been
they
a recap.
miss an episode, they slate a recap. If it's a show that like very rarely has it been no, you've just flat missed an episode, and that was what that was actually the nail in the coffin for Darwin's Game. I think was that it missed that episode that week.
Gotcha.
And Babylon's was that it stopped airing entirely that season. So was Azure Lanes. Thank God, it gave us an additional reason to shoot it dead in the water.
In the water. Haha.
But yeah, we will be back next week after the holidays. Everyone enjoy a nice, merry holiday season. I will be busy.
Merry
both
Christmas.
days. So
What are we gonna do for
Merry
hang on,
Christ. Merry Christ.
Merry
I have
Chrysler.
to start playing League again apparently because my
bye.
team is like losing their ADC for a week and a half.
Oh.
So like I have to come back and play again.
You reminded me as well. I found out yesterday I'm in the top 25% of all TFT players in NA. I
Yeah,
don't know how
That's
that
pretty
happened.
cool.
I don't know how the fuck that happened. I'm
Weird-
goal 4 right now, but
Weird stat I always look at is like right now in terms of rank at 1-1 in preseason, I'm ranked in the top 6% of League players because I played a ranked game this season.
oh my god.
I'm ranked
That's
number
funny.
but we will see you all sometime next week after the holidays.